Hi everyone, Amazing here. Today I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful dashboard in Excel with a scroll bar. A scroll bar that I can actually use to scroll our chart and actually get to a particular month we really want to see. Can you see that? We are seeing from September now to December, and if you want to see from September to October and November right now, want to see 2 months, you can actually get to see 2 months, and you can skip like August to September, now June, July to August, and this is what we see. We can actually increase that right here. This is a good feature. I've actually given this particular review in my other video. You can take a look at that if you want to see more details. So right now we are actually showing cities. We have 40 cities. We cannot display it on this whole dashboard, but we can actually scroll through our cities. Can you see that? It's very dynamic, and we're trying to show our manager based on this particular chart right here how they actually added some kind of progress to the sales and actually make the company become more bigger. So now in this particular, if I actually select all my slides, right, you can see now this manager is actually adding 66.53% to the whole profit of this organization, and this is actually adding 33.40 something percent. If I select a particular year, you will see that something changes. Now we see this manager doing well in this year. If I select 2019, you see another manager might be taking the wheel. Now this is exactly what it is. So right now, if you place your cursor on any of this trend, you will keep seeing the month changes to another month, and every single time we select a particular slicer, we have everything just shift dynamically. So I'm going to show you how to create this from the scratch right now. So let me walk you through how everything is done. So click at the top right here and go to view. So when you get to view, hit on this particular switch windows and switch to another window entirely. Now here we go, we have this particular window switch, and this is our back end where we are going to have a calculation, right? So right now I'm going to take you to the data set we have for this particular project. So right now the company is about a company that actually distributes drinks to other companies, and here we go, we have the managers, we have the branch, we have the distributors, we have the cities where those products have been shifted to, and we have the figures or the values that has to do with how our sales had been had went and all of that. So we are actually on the data sheet. So right now let me take you to the dashboard where we're going to have a dashboard. This is exactly what we're going to have our dashboard. It's pretty easy. You just have to create some kind of can you see this? It's a shape. Just create some kind of shape and actually make sure you align it the way I aligned mine. It's very simple, it's not complicated. I don't want to go over and over and create this from the scratch again. Can you see this? It's very easy to be created. So you just go ahead and create it and actually change your color. So I don't want to show you from the scratch. All I'm concerned about is just show you the functionality this particular dashboard actually has. So go back to data source and actually start to create our first pivot table to summarize our data. I'm going to click right here and click to the top right here and hit on this insert. From the insert, we see a pivot table at the left hand side right here. To summarize our data, we click on it, and it's actually going to make sure it circle all the whole data and exclude the header, including the header, right? So right now what we need to do right now is to feel like we need a new worksheet or we need an existing worksheet. I already have my sheet. I'm going to click on this existing one right here and click on this and actually hit this particular aspect to have my sheet dropped. Or maybe I'm going to use this environment. Okay, I think here will be cool. So I'm going to hit OK. So this is what I have. So right now I have my pivot table dropped right here. So we're going to start to summarize our data right now. For the first thing we're going to do right now is to bring our month right here. But if you look at what we have in this month aspect right here, in this year or the date aspect right here, we don't have month included. So which means they've actually grouped it for us automatically. So I ungrouped it. I want to actually group it to my satisfaction, to what I really wanted. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to actually select right here and actually click on group. So right now I'm going to group by days, months, quarters and years. I'm going to hit OK. So right now I'm going to be removing what I don't want. I don't want this from here. I don't want quarter, I want month, and I don't want year. You can remove it as well from here. Click on this and you have it removed. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to actually bring my year down to this aspect, because what I'm going to analyze right now is just for the 2020. I'm going to click on this all. Okay, select this and select this and have this 2020 active. This is exactly what we want. So the reason why we have this is because we have a target placed right here for 2020. So we want to actually compare this target to the sales we actually made in that year called 2020. So I'm going to go back to my analysis sheet. Here we go. So I'm going to be dropping my sales right on this. This is exactly what we really want, right? So I've gotten my sales right here, but we don't really want this particular kind of analysis right here. I'm going to take this off because we don't need the grand total, so I'm going to remove it. And the next thing is for me to actually get this away from here, which is this particular row label. Instead, I wanted to show month. Have it clicked and go to the top and actually hit on this particular design, and go to this particular aspect and hit on show tabular form. So we have the month appeared. What if we have it closed mistakenly and we don't know how to get it back? If we click right here, it can come back. It's very easy. Don't feel like what the heck is going on with me. So just click on this particular, right click right here and go to show fields list, and here we go, is back again. But we don't need it. I'm gonna get it away from here. So right now we need to actually do a VLOOKUP to bring our targets. I'm gonna say target. I'm gonna be doing a VLOOKUP to get this right here. So I'm gonna actually right click. I'm gonna click on this particular aspect. So because we're actually looking for the lookup values to get this right here, I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna say comma. I'm gonna go to the sheet, and here is our table array. That is the table array right here. So what we're looking for is sitting. I'm gonna click on comma, and the column index number is what column do we really want to get this particular answer from. So it's from this target. So it's gonna be second column. This is the first column, and second column I'm gonna hit 2. So now if I hit comma, it's gonna be asking me for the type of match. What type of match? The exact match, right? I'm gonna hit 0, and then this time around I'm gonna say close. Right, I'm gonna hit enter, and here we are. I have it exactly. I'm gonna drag it down and make sure I verify it. So it's giving me October. So now this is working fine, very fine right now. But if we want to actually create our chart, will they work? It's not gonna work. This is a trick I'm gonna show you how to get to do this, to include our target. If I actually select, can you see? And this is what it is. So I can't have the target right on this because it's going to be weird. It says pivot table, and pivot table doesn't know that something is behind it, right? Okay, I'm going to take it away. So right now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create another extra column right here, so I call it a helper column. I'm going to drag it down to this end, and I'm going to drop this down, and here we go. So right now, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get off this particular sum off from here. So Control H will help us to do that. So I already have typed it, I have it typed in. So I'm going to replace this with nothing. So if I just hit replace, and it replace, and I'm going to click OK, I'm going to have to close this right now. So what I'm going to do is for me to actually make sure I make this closer to this. So right now we can create our chart. I will see our chart will be created. So if I click on this and hit on insert, I'm going to go to this particular recommended chart. And now I'm going to go to all charts. I'm going to click on combo, and here we go. I have my line chart and the bar chart, the closed tab column chart as well. So I'm going to click on this particular show this in secondary axis, and I'm going to hit OK. Here is my chart is welcome. So I'm going to take off this. I don't need them. I'm going to take this off as well. I'm going to take this off. So that is nice. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is for me to actually make sure I set my chart right here, and I'm going to add extra 2 columns right here. So exactly, so this is exactly what I wanted. So now what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to select this environment right here and actually give it a very dark color. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is for me to actually make sure I put on my data label. But don't ever try to do this, else you're going to see something very weird. So data label has something weird. You can't read this, it's crazy. So I'm going to take it off. So right now, because we don't want the whole data label for target and sales, we just want for total sales. And what you can do is just for you to right click right here and actually to go to select data, go to add data label, and when you click on this, this is what you have. It's a little bit readable, but if our chart becomes smaller, because we're going to make it smaller, we can't read this, right? So but what are we going to do? We need to add this scroll and zoom feature. That is the next we're going to do right now. So let us see how we can add scroll bar to actually create our zoom and scroll right here. So I'm going to click on this and actually go to developer. If you don't have developer, you want to have a developer active, so all you need to do is just to click anywhere from here and go to customize ribbon, So when you go to the customer ribbon, you're gonna see this unchecked. So now you need to check it and actually hit on OK. I'm gonna cancel because I have it already. So when you come to the top, you're gonna find it and you click on this insert, and you see this form control. This is what we're gonna concern ourselves with right now. So we're gonna hit on this particular scroll bar. I'm gonna hit it. So now I'm gonna actually get it right here for us. So exactly. So I'm gonna duplicate this. So this is exactly what we really want. Okay, fine. So now we've gotten this. We need to actually define how we want this to work with our chart dynamically. So it's gonna make it very swift and gonna make our manager to feel like, wow, this is some kind of good development. So right now what we want is for we to actually link our scroll. So how do we link our scroll? The first thing we're gonna do right now is to right click on this. So when you right click, just right click on this and see how we can link this. So the first one is the current value. So the current value is going to be 0, and the minimum value is going to be 0 as well, while we have the maximum value to be 11. So when you scroll to the 11th number, it's going to stop. So now the increment is going to be by 1, and the page change, leave it like this, and actually let's link it to here. Already I have something linked there. I'm gonna actually have to cancel it out to actually show you how this is done dynamically. I'm gonna take it off. So right now I'm gonna do this again. So go right here, and I'm gonna show you. Here is just what you need to change. It's gonna be 11, and you have to link it right now to this particular aspect. I'm gonna hit OK. So now nothing is showing. If I actually click, you can see if I click right here, it's gonna show me the 11th number, which is the last number. So I'm gonna right click right here and actually click on this form control, and here we go. Now the minimum is going to be 1. It's going to be default to 1 when we don't scroll anything or when we don't zoom anything. If we zoom to the last one, it's going to show us just 1. That is exactly what the zoom is going to actually show to us. So the next thing is going to be the month. The month is going to be 12 because we have 12 months. So, and the increment is by 1, and the page change is going to be like this, 10. So I'm going to actually link it right here. I'm going to hit OK. Right now this is OK. If I click away and click in here, so what I'm going to see is the whole 12, right? But it's not really working in our chart. Why is the magic not happening? So right now I'm going to show you how to apply the magic. So we have some few steps to go on how to apply this very magic. So let me show you the first step you're going to go through. The first step is for you to create a name range, and when we create this name range, you're going to be using an offset. But before we talk about offset, let us see how the name range can be created. Now to create a name range, go to the top and go to formula. From formula, hit on this name manager, or you can click on define name, and this is what you get. But we don't want to go by this. I'm going to show you the shortcut to get this right. So to create our name range, we're going to see we're going to create X axis and Y axis 1 and Y axis 2, right? So what is all this about? I'm going to get this away from here to get a very nice view. Okay, sorry. So get it away. So right now this particular date month aspect is our X axis. So while this particular here is actually our y-axis, and here is another y-axis right here. So this is for the total sales, and this line chart, this is the axis right here, is for the target. So this is exactly what we're trying to get right here. Do not worry, as soon as I'm done with this, you're going to understand what is actually happening. Don't get it confused. So I'm going to click on this and going to hit my Alt M and L. It's going to actually pump exactly this is what I want. It's going to actually bring the box out. So right now we can do this, right? Can we do this? We can do this. Yes, we can. So now what we need to do right now is for we to start creating our formula, and actually use this offset right here. But before you know how to use offset, let me show you how to use offset on the screen. So if we try to use offset right there, we're not have the help. We're not going to have the help of intelligence, just like what we're going to have right here right now. So right here, if we type our offset, it's going to show us to give the reference, give the row number, the column number, the height, and the width. So right there, we're not going to see it. So I've actually extracted it right here to show us what it is that this is doing, right? So I'm going to actually deselect it and actually click right here and create this, which is Alt M and L. So here we go. Now if I click on this and actually type the same offset right here, I'm going to say offset open bracket. Now I don't have the help of intelligence to show me what I really wanted, but I have it extracted right here in order to follow it step by step what you really need. So right now we need the reference. The reference is the starting point. Can you get that? The starting point is actually our first x-axis, which is the x scroll is this January. What about that? January. So now if the starting point is January, how many rows do we want to move? So we want to determine this by what? By this scroll, by whatever we scroll right here, whatever number we scroll right here is the row we want to move. So the next thing is going to be the columns. How many columns do we want to move? Do you want to move to this column, to this column, to this column? We don't want to move away from this column. We want to stay on this particular column. We're going to have to use 0 to do that. So the next thing is going to be on the height. The height is going to be determined by the zoom, the number of the zoom we actually placed on it. That is it. So the next thing is going to be the width, which is the column. So we want to stay within this very column right here. So we're going to apply it 1, and if I have it closed right now, I'm going to hit enter and verify if this is working. I'm going to click right here. Can you see that? Because we are actually selecting 12 and it's moving away. Don't worry, we're gonna fix this in a jiffy. You understand how this goes. So I have this closed. I don't want this again. So the next thing I'm gonna create is the y-axis, and the first y-axis is for the sales, which is the total sales. So I'm gonna click on Alt M and L. Here we go. I got it right back right here. So right now I'm gonna do the same thing again. So I'm gonna say offset. So now what I'm going to do right now is actually give it the starting point to be here, and now it's going to like ask me if the starting point is that, what is the row? So it's going to be determined by here. And what is the column? We don't want to move away from this column to this column. We'll put 0. And now what is going to be the height? We're going to determine the height by the number of zooms. And now what about the width and the column? So we're going to stay within the same column, so we're going to use 1. I'm going to have to close this, and if I close this, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to say okay, and now here we go. Okay, fine. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to actually bring my zoom right here. So now you're going to see something is going to happen if we actually do this again. So right now the last one is going to be this Alt N, that is what it is. So right now we are going to create for this particular last one, which is the y-axis 2. So I'm going to say offset. So offset, and I'm going to actually offset this. This is the starting point. That's the starting point. The row is going to be determined by this particular number right here. The column, no, we're staying within this. We don't want to move to this column. And now if that is that, the height is going to be determined by this particular number right here, and now the width is going to be 1. So if I have it closed and actually hit an OK, what am I going to have? Exactly, this is what it is. We've actually zoomed to what? We've actually zoomed to June to December. This is exactly what it is. So I can now close this and actually implement what we've just done right now on our chart, and you see it like voila, exactly what we really want. Okay, fine. I'm going to right click on this and actually select data. So from select data, we're going to apply the whole thing we've actually done right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this particular aspect right here and actually hit on edit. So if I hit on edit, I'm going to actually replace my X scroll to the X scroll, my Y scroll to the Y scroll, my Y scroll 2 to the Y scroll 2 right here. So what I'm going to do right now, if I select this, it's showing me where I'm going to apply something. So right now what I need to do is to apply the Y scroll. I'm going to actually select right here. If I get to the last dollar sign where I have my exclamation mark, I'm going to stop and type my Y scroll. So Y scroll. So I'm going to hit OK, and it shows some effect on this. Can you see that? It's really working. So I'm going to right click and do the same thing again, and this time I'm going to select my target. I'm going to hit on this edit, and I'm going to select right here, and now I'm going to get it down to this particular aspect. I'm going to select this to be my Y scroll 2. So I'm going to hit OK, and now here we go. It's working, right? So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to actually select the month, and now I'm going to actually select here, and now this is my X scroll. My X scroll, hit OK, and I'm going to select this and select edit, and the next one I'm going to select my X scroll. So I'm going to hit this, and now I'm going to hit OK. So now let us look at what it is. If I actually select, can you see it's working, but something weird is happening. Why is this happening? If I select right here, it's moving away. It's just like your VLOOKUP, that if you don't lock the cell, it's gonna move away and actually give you not valuable. That's crazy. How are we gonna handle this? That was why we have this particular max scroll right here. So we're gonna use formula to actually determine how this can actually work right now. So this is working pretty fine. It's moving, the development is good. Every single time we make a shift, we have this number to change to something else. So right now what we need to solve right now is for we to actually solve this particular problem we have right here. So it can be solved. It's not something we cannot really solve. Let us see how we can solve it in no time. So how we're gonna do that? So what we're gonna do right now is just for we to come right here and actually apply a formula. So right now what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna say if. We're gonna be using if condition. If, can you see that? So right now if this particular zoom plus this particular scroll right here is equal to 12, can you get it? If that is equal to 12, so what you're gonna give me, you need to give me the scroll. Else is not. So what you're gonna give me now is gonna be 12. So we're gonna say 12 minus, it's gonna be like 12 minus this particular zoom. So right now this is what it is. We're gonna actually have to put greater than or less than, Ctrl V. So I have it right there. So right now this is what it is. So now we're gonna say if this particular zoom plus this is less than 12, so give me what we have right here on B, as if it is not, minus what we have right now on B5 right now, which is on zoom. So right now this is exactly what I need to do. I'm gonna hit enter, and this is what we have 6 right here. So now what we need to do right now, we need to change our chart. I believe you understand what's going on right here. So what we just did was this: if this plus this is equal to 12, is less than equal to 12, give me this. Else if it is not, just 12 minus zoom. That's exactly what I've done. So just watch it over again and you will get to understand what it is that I've done right here. But how are we going to implement this? How do we make this? So we have to change the x-axis, y-axis 1 and the y-axis 2. So how are we going to do that? So we need to actually go right here and go and edit. So now here we go. I'm going to click on edit. So now that I've clicked on edit, we need to actually know where our scroll is. That is exactly what we need to do. We need to know where our scroll is sitting, because we are changing our scroll to the max scroll right here. So what are we going to do? We need to actually look at where the scroll is sitting right now. It's sitting on B4. So we're going to check B4, and B4 is this. So if B4 is this, what we're going to do, we're going to change B4 to 6. So here is 6. This particular cell is sitting on 6, on the 6th one. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to hit on edit, and I'm going to change this one to 6. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to hit edit, and I'm going to click on this 6, and I'm going to hit OK. So if I close, so what am I going to see? Exactly, it has worked. So if I click right now, it's actually looking at this particular range without moving down. This is exactly what I have gotten. It's very much dynamic right now. This is exactly what we want. It is looking like all the chart we've actually created. Exactly. This is exactly what you need to actually know how to create. So all the steps we've actually followed to this extent is watching it. So right now we can actually get this to our chart and our dashboard and see how we can actually get it to fit in it right there. So I'm gonna right click on this, and I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna cut this away from here. I'm gonna go to my dashboard, and I'm going to have to drop this right here. So right now make sure it sits inside here perfectly, which is very nice. I love this. So fine. So we need to get our chart right here as well. Go to analysis and actually click on this. I'm gonna click right here and get this particular grid line off. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to take away this from my chart area. Okay, I'm going to get, say, no fill, no line. So I'm going to have to close this. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to cut it away from here. I'm going to take it to the dashboard, and here we go. So if I drop it right here right now, this is what I have. So now you can see exactly, we can actually do some touching right now. I'm going to actually bump this up a little bit, so give it white. So I'm going to actually click on bold and actually give it something like this. Okay, fine. I think we've just gotten this right. So I'm going to click on this, and I can double click and click away. Now click back again, and I'm going to change the color to something different right now. I'm going to change this color to this, so it matches my cells right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit on this particular aspect right here. I'm going to go to shadow, and from shadow I'm going to pick on this particular type of shadow, so it make it to stand out. So I'm going to make it this way. So right now what I'm going to do is to change this, go to line. I'm going to have to change this to something like this. So exactly, this is what we have. So right now we can see it is similar to what we have right on our main dashboard, where we actually see all this from. So right now what we have right now is that this has actually changed the whole thing. So if I right click and go to here, I'm going to see where is this looking at here. So I'm going to go to, I think that is scroll. I'm going to go to my scroll and click on my analysis, and I click link it to the scroll right here. Go. So I'm going to go right here and actually see the lift form. So that is the zoom. I'm going to go to zoom and actually go to analysis and go to my zoom right here, and I'm going to hit OK. So right now this is exactly what I've gotten. So now if I click away, and actually, can you see it is working perfectly just like the other ones. So you can show more months, keep showing months, keep showing months, and you can see the comparison is actually tight. So this is exactly what we really have. So right now we're going to stop this right here, and actually in the next video we're going to complete how we can actually create this and make sure we show you everything that has to do with this dashboard. As we have actually shown this right now, is a good development, so we are actually making a great deal. So this is the remaining part of the tutorial would be very much simple to be created, so we're going to create this with ease, but this is the most tough part of it. So we've actually created this and I've shown you how this is done. So I'm going to actually make sure I perfect it down to the last level you should understand when we actually come back to the next tutorial. So thank you very much for watching. I wish you can actually hit the subscribe button if you've not subscribed to my channel before, and as well share this tutorial to others.